you have to fix your focus. You can't endlessly work on your business, because over time you will just become a slave to your work. I remember very clearly when I first started on working or starting as an entrepreneur, and in the first 3 months I felt so exhausted and I felt so like I just didn't want to continue, and that kind of compounded over time. And also I had all these other external factors like going to school, playing a sport, and keeping up with self-improvement habits as well. And when you do all these things at once and then also add up the business part, you have to have a really, really high performance level. You can't just, can't have a crappy diet, you can't have bad sleep, and you have to fix it. Really importantly, you have to fix those two things, because in the end, if you can't perform at that high level, especially in your business, then you will not be able to succeed over time. You will not be able to maintain these habits that or your work. And you have to start controlling your time by controlling your focus. Like where your focus shifts to, where your focus is really, really, really important. And especially like where deep work, where you in this flow state, you have to be at your best. You have to be able to work your best, put out your best work. And if you can do that, then you will be successful and you will be able to make money, help people. And in deep work, that's where you get the most important task done. And if you're not able to focus in that like time frame, then you're just not gonna make it. That's the truth. You're not gonna make it if you can't have that time frame where you just focus on your work. And that is like just completely connected to your performance levels, similar to being an athlete. Like if you as an athlete, as a really, really top professional athlete, and you can't focus in the really, really important parts of the game, part of a sport, if you can't basically lock in, then you wouldn't make it. You wouldn't be successful. And that's where you basically have to be 100% focused on the task in front of you. And for me, in my business, which was basically affiliate marketing, I had to basically market a product or service, and through that I made content basically, and I had to edit a lot and do like other smaller tasks, but it was mostly editing content, and that was the most important task of the day. And in the first 3 months, as I mentioned, I just wasn't able to make it really. I wasn't focused at all. My brain was fogged. I had brain fog. My mental clarity was just really, really bad, and that's why I was not able to get it done basically. And you have to be able to control your brain, and if you can't, then you will lose over time. So how do you fix that problem? Well, as I mentioned, look at your diet. You have to look at the input that you are giving, that you're putting into your body, and that is one's food, and that is also content that you consume. So basically consumption of anything is going to control or going to direct the output, which is, you know, your work output, and then the things you achieve in the end, or at the end of the day. And it greatly affects the output of your work. So you can't neglect it. You can't. All top performers, they are really careful and really specific with what they put in their body if they want to perform at the highest level. And that's why you should too, if you want to be as successful as they are, or at least get, you know, to a better level of your performance. Yeah. And basically fixing a diet is kind of complex, but just giving some basic advice, which many people, you know, kind of neglect or really don't care about, is when they want to have that mental clarity, that mental performance, is eating less starchy carbs is really important. So pasta, bread, potatoes, eating them especially before or during your work or deep work sessions, or in general, is, you know, going to really impact you if you do that, and that's why you shouldn't, obviously. And yeah, and then in contrast, you know, to replace that kind of bad habit, you should replace it with nutrient dense food. And, you know, nutrient dense food is kind of, you know, a really like loose term maybe. Many people, you know, don't really know what does nutrient dense mean. Doesn't mean it has a lot of protein, doesn't mean it has a lot of carbs or fats. For me, it just comes down to how many micronutrients there are inside that food, and that is, you know, the vitamins and minerals. And if you really max them out when you're tracking your food, which also I recommend, if you do that, then it can be really successful, and you will actually know if the food that you're eating is nutrient dense. So, you know, if one food, for example eggs or beef, has a high nutrient density, then it is better or it's going to be better for your focus and mental clarity and all of that. And for the one also really important tip, especially if you do your deep work sessions in the mornings or kind of between lunch and breakfast, then you should have a high protein, high fat breakfast after fasting for about 90 minutes. And that's, you know, those 90 minutes should basically be your work block. It was for me. It's where, I mean, I think when I had more time, obviously I spent more time, but at least it was about 90 minutes where I tried to get most of the work done. And after I had that high fat, high protein breakfast, after I added that, you know, then I was like was able to focus for even longer. And that's like, you know, high protein, high fat was the key. Like example foods are, you know, cheese, eggs, beef, fish, fatty fish, Greek yogurt. Those are like the foods that you want to go for in the morning. Can combine some of these, and then if you want, you can add just a small amount of fruits if you want some sugar, in the morning, but I don't really recommend it. Sometimes I do eat some fruits in the morning, especially like in the summer, just to get some electrolytes in as well, because you sweat a lot. But keep it to high fat, high protein, and then you're gonna feel that you won't have that kind of energy crash, especially in the afternoon, where you don't feel like working at all. And through that high protein, high fat, you're gonna get that stable energy. And yeah, coupled to that, you should move your carbs to the afternoon, where you do like shallow work. For example, taking calls, answering people in the emails, answering people in the DMs, doing some kind of outreach, or where you don't really need to use 100% of your brain power, and you already did your really focused tasks of the day, and you can have some carbs, nutrient dense carbs still, not starchy carbs. So fruits, honey, those kind of things. Sweet potatoes, still pretty good because it has a lot of nutrients, but yeah, try to stay away from the starchy carbs, especially for lunch, so it doesn't affect your work output. So yeah, that was it for the video. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed it. This was just kind of me giving out some advice, giving out some knowledge. Yeah, I hope you could take away something from it, and I will see you soon. Peace.